Welcome to Cherry Blossom BL Story, where emotions bloom and stories unfold. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's chapter.
In the shadowed halls of Aetherion Academy, two rival heirs have spent years spilling blood over a poison that killed one father and scarred two houses forever. Elian Voss, sharp-tongued, ruthless, hiding the Omega truth that would destroy his legacy. Draven Blackthorne, dominant alpha, fiercely protective, sworn to bury every Voss alive. They hate each other, they fight like animals, they bruise and bleed and break tables in crowded corridors, until one heat cycle shatters every lie, one possessive bite changes everything. One confession under moonlight turns enemies into mates. What starts as vengeance ends in forever, a forbidden knot, a united house, and two broken boys who finally find home in each other's arms. Chapter 1. Rivals at the Academy. The grand spires of Aetherion Academy pierced the misty dawn sky like silver blades. A fortress of old stone and newer ambition perched on the cliffs overlooking the churning iron sea. For centuries, it had trained the heirs of the most powerful bloodlines in the Dominion, alphas destined to lead, betas to advise, omegas to bind the fragile peace between houses through careful alliances. Here, designations were not mere biology. They were politics, legacy, and sometimes war. Elian Voss strode through the arched entrance of the East Wing with the deliberate grace of someone who knew every eye was already on him. At 19, he was tall, leanly muscled, with sharp cheekbones and hair the color of winter ash that fell just past his collar. His scent, crisp cedar edged with steel, rolled off him in controlled waves, announcing alpha long before the formal designation ceremony next month. Everyone assumed he would present alpha, everyone except perhaps Elian himself. "Keep your head high, boy," Uncle Harlan had hissed that morning over breakfast in the family quarters. "No more of those clever little barbs. You are a Voss, act like one. Present alpha, claim the right alliances, and bury the Blackthorns once and for all. Or do I need to remind you what happens when weakness creeps into our line?" Elian had smiled then, thin and sharp. "But I think the Blackthorns remind us daily, Uncle." Harlan's grip on his fork had tightened until the silver bent. Now in the corridor leading to advanced tactics, Elian felt the familiar pressure coil in his chest. Present alpha, secure the future, crush the rival house that had poisoned his father's wine 16 years ago and left the Voss name scarred. Simple. He rounded the corner and nearly collided with Draven Blackthorne. Draven stood like a wall of midnight broad shoulders straining the black academy tunic, dark hair cropped short, eyes the color of storm clouds. His scent hit first, smoke and iron, heavy with the unmistakable dominance of an already confirmed alpha. Behind him hovered Kai Blackthorne, slight and pale, eyes downcast, fingers twisting in the hem of his Omega gray cloak. Kai's scent was softer rain, soaked lavender edged with nervous sweetness, classic Omega, the kind that made protective instincts flare in every alpha nearby. Draven's gaze locked on Elian instantly. "Voss," he said, the word flat and cold. "Still breathing, I see." Elian's lips curled. "A Blackthorne, still playing nursemaid. How touching. Does the little Omega need his big brother to hold his hand through advanced tactics, or is he afraid of the big bad alphas?" Kai flinched, shrinking further behind Draven. Draven stepped forward, putting himself squarely between them. "Watch your mouth, Voss. Kai's worth 10 of you on his worst day." "Oh, I'm sure," Elian drawled, "especially since your family's specialty seems to be poisoning people in their sleep. Very brave." The corridor went quiet. Students froze mid-step, sensing the shift in the air, the crackle of pheromones, alpha posturing on the edge of violence. Draven's jaw ticked. "Say that again." Elian stepped closer, voice dropping to a lethal whisper. "Your father killed mine. Everyone knows it. And you strut around like you own the place, shielding your trembling little brother, as if anyone here would waste breath on an Omega who can't even meet eyes." Kai made a small, wounded sound. Draven's hand shot out, slamming Elian back against the stone wall with enough force to crack the mortar. Elian's head snapped back, but he laughed. Low, reckless, careful Blackthorne, Elian taunted, not bothering to push back yet. Wouldn't want to ruin that perfect alpha reputation. Though I hear you're very good at protecting the weak. Draven growled, the sound vibrating through the corridor. His pheromones surged dominance, fury, protectiveness, thick enough to choke. Around them, other alphas shifted uneasily, betas backed away, and a few omegas whimpered. No professor appeared, no one dared intervene in a Voss-Blackthorne clash, not after generations of bad blood. Elian's own scent sharpened in response, cedar turning metallic, a challenge rather than submission. He leaned into Draven's grip on his collar. Hit me then. Prove you're as much a beast as your father. For a heartbeat, Draven's fist clenched, then Kai's small hand caught his sleeve. Draven, please. The alpha froze, his gaze flicked to his brother, wide-eyed, trembling, and something raw flashed across his face. He released Elian abruptly, stepping back as though burned. You're not worth the paperwork, Draven snarled. He turned, curling an arm around Kai's shoulders, guiding him away. Come on, we're late. Elian straightened his tunic, ignoring the ache in his skull. Students whispered as they hurried past, casting glances between the retreating Blackthorns and the Voss heir who refused to back down. Elian watched them go, Draven's broad back shielding Kai like a shield wall. Something hot and ugly twisted in his gut, not just hatred, but something dangerously close to envy. The way Draven protected without hesitation, the way Kai trusted him completely. He shoved the feeling down. Run along, Blackthorne, he called after them, voice carrying. Protect your precious Omega. One day he'll have to stand on his own, and we'll see how long your family lasts then. Draven didn't turn, but his shoulders tensed and his scent spiked again, warning, promise. Elian smiled to himself as he continued toward class. The feud wasn't over. It was only beginning, and in the shadowed halls of Aetherion Academy, where designations were declared and futures forged in fire, Elian Voss intended to win, no matter the cost. Chapter 2, The Cafeteria Incident. The Great Hall of Aetherion Academy served as both dining room and battlefield when tempers ran hot. Vaulted ceilings soared high above rows of long oak tables scarred from generations of spilled goblets and slammed fists. Sunlight streamed through stained glass windows depicting ancient designations, alphas in roaring triumph, omegas in graceful submission, casting fractured rainbows across the flagstones. At midday, the hall thrummed with the clatter of trays, the murmur of alliances being forged or broken, and the ever-present undercurrent of scent, alpha musk, beta neutrality, omega sweetness. Kai Blackthorne sat alone at the far end of a table near the servants' entrance, as he always did when Draven had a late seminar. He kept his head down, picking at a bowl of stew with mechanical precision. His cloak hood was up, shadowing his face, but it couldn't hide the way his shoulders hunched every time someone passed too close. Elian Voss spotted him immediately. He lounged at the center table with his usual pack, Cashin, broad and smirking, Thorn, quick with a knife and quicker with insults, and Leora Voss, Elian's cousin, whose beauty was as cold and cutting as frost on steel. Leora's gaze had been fixed on Kai since they entered, lips pressed into a thin line of distaste. Still hiding in corners like a frightened mouse, she murmured, voice carrying just far enough, "How disappointing. I thought Blackthorns at least pretended at spine." Elian's smile was slow, predatory. "He's an Omega, cousin. What did you expect? Backbone?" Cashin snorted. "Bet he scents like fear and milk. Pathetic." Thorn leaned forward. "Should we educate him?" Elian considered Kai for a long moment. The way the boy's spoon trembled slightly, the faint bloom of anxious lavender in the air, something vicious uncoiled in his chest. Uncle Harlan's voice echoed, "Bury the Blackthorns." This was as good a start as any. He rose, tray in hand, and sauntered over. His clique followed like wolves on a scent. Kai stiffened as their shadows fell across his table. Blackthorne, Elian said pleasantly, "Eating alone again, no big brother to feed you." Kai didn't look up. "Leave me be, Voss." Eliora laughed, sharp and crystalline. "Oh, he speaks, how novel." Elian set his tray down with deliberate care right beside Kai's, then in one smooth motion tipped it. Stew sloshed across the table, soaking Kai's sleeves, dripping onto his lap. Bread rolls tumbled. A goblet of mulled wine overturned, staining the grey Omega cloak crimson. The whole quieted by degrees. Kai froze, hands clenched in his lap, stew dripping from his chin. He still didn't raise his eyes. "Clumsy of me," Elian said, mock apologetic. "But really, you should be used to being covered in filth by now. Your family's reputation precedes you." Cashin grabbed a fistful of bread from another table and mashed it into Kai's hair. "There, now you look the part, little Omega bitch, all dressed up." Thorn circled behind, yanking Kai's hood down. Pale silver hair spilled out, catching the light. "Look at that. Pretty hair for a worthless runt. Shame it's wasted on you." Leora stepped closer, voice low and venomous. "Mother always said your line produced nothing but disappointments." She was right, your proof. Kai's breath hitched. A single tear tracked down his cheek, but he made no move to wipe it away. He simply sat there, drenched and trembling, sense spiking with humiliation and fear. That was when the doors at the far end of the hall slammed open. Draven Blackthorne stormed in like a thunderhead breaking. His eyes found Kai instantly saw the ruined clothes, the food in his hair, the tear tracks, and something feral ignited behind the storm. Grey irises. His scent exploded through the hall. Smoke and iron turned molten, pure alpha rage. He didn't speak, he moved. Cashin never saw the first punch coming. Draven's fist cracked into his jaw with a sound like breaking wood. Cashin flew backward, crashing through a bench. Thorn lunged, knife flashing. Draven caught his wrist, twisted, snapped bone. Thorn screamed, dropping. Draven drove an elbow into his throat, silencing him. Students scrambled away, trays clattering, chairs toppling. Professors shouted from the edges, but none dared close in. Not yet. Elian stepped between Draven and Kai, stance loose, smile still in place, protective as ever. Blackthorne. How predictable. Draven's gaze locked on him. "You touched my brother." Elian spread his hands. He needed a bath. Draven charged. They collided like siege engines. Elian met him head on, no hesitation. Fists flying, teeth bared. Draven's punch caught Elian's cheekbone, splitting skin. Elian answered with a vicious uppercut that snapped Draven's head back. Blood sprayed. They tore through the hall. A table overturned with a thunderous crash, legs splintering. Chairs shattered against stone. Elian grabbed a fallen bench and swung. Draven ducked, tackled him through another table. Wood cracked, plates exploded. They rolled, grappling, snarling. Draven pinned Elian for a heartbeat, forearm across his throat. "You'll pay for every second," he cried. Elian laughed through bloodied teeth, knee driving into Draven's ribs. "He cries because he's weak, like the rest of you." Draven roared, hauling Elian up by the collar and slamming him against a stone pillar. Plaster dust rained down. Elian's head rang, vision blurring, but he drove his elbow into Draven's temple, breaking the hold. They staggered apart, chests heaving, faces masks of blood and bruises. Elian wiped crimson from his lip. Had enough. Draven spat blood onto the floor, and not even close. But then a small, broken sound cut through the chaos. Kai, he still sat where they'd left him, surrounded by wreckage, hands over his mouth. Tears streamed freely now. His eyes, wide, haunted, flicked between his brother and Elian. Guilt carved deep lines into his young face. "This is because of me." Draven's rage fractured. He looked at Kai, really looked, and the fight drained from his shoulders like water through cracked stone. He turned back to Elian, voice low and lethal. "This isn't over, Voss, but if you ever touch him again, I won't stop at bruises." Elian straightened slowly, tasting copper. "We'll see." Draven crossed the ruined hall in 3 strides, knelt beside Kai, gentle, shockingly gentle. He brushed food from his brother's hair, wiped tears with a blood-streaked thumb. "I'm here," he murmured, "I've got you." Kai crumpled against him, silent sobs shaking his frame. Elian watched, something dark and unnameable twisting in his gut. He ignored it. Leora appeared at his side, expression icy. "You let him walk away." Elian touched the gash on his cheek, winced for now. The hall was silent but for the crackle of settling debris and Kai's muffled crying. No one moved to clean up. No one dared speak. The feud had teeth now, sharp, bloody, and bared. Chapter 3. The Hallway Brawl, the main corridor of Aetherion Academy, was a river of bodies between 3rd and 4th period, alphas shouldering through like barges, betas slipping along the edges, omegas pressed close to the walls to avoid being trampled. High arched windows let in pale winter light that glittered off polished stone and brass sconces. Voices bounced off the vaulted ceiling in a constant roar of laughter, gossip, and the occasional sharp bark of an alpha establishing space. Kai Blackthorne moved through it like a ghost, arms wrapped tightly around a tall stack of books, Advanced Scent Theory, Alliance Protocols Through the Ages, a battered copy of the Omega Codex. His hood was up again, silver hair tucked away, but nothing could make him invisible in a hallway full of predators. Elian Voss saw him coming from 20 paces away. He was leaning against a pillar with Cashin and Thorn, both still sporting faint bruises from the cafeteria fight 2 weeks earlier. When Kai passed within arm's reach, Elian's mouth curved. He waited until the exact moment Kai drew level, then stepped out casually, shoulder clipping the stack of books with practiced force. The volumes flew. They hit the flagstones with heavy thuds, pages splaying, spines cracking. A few students stepped on them instinctively before realizing what they were. One heavy tome skidded into the path of a group of second years who trampled it without breaking stride. Kai froze. Elian looked down at the mess, feigning surprise. Oops. Cashin laughed outright. "A clumsy little thing, isn't he?" Thorn crouched, picked up the Omega Codex and held it aloft like a trophy. "Look at this. Chapter 12, Proper Submission in Public Spaces. Perfect reading for you, runt." Students slowed, forming a loose circle. Phones appeared in hands. Someone whispered, "Voss versus Blackthorne again." The air thickened with anticipation and the sharp tang of alpha interest. Kai bent to gather his books, fingers shaking. He didn't speak. He never did when they cornered him like this. Elian stepped forward, deliberately placing one polished boot on the open page of Scent Theory. The paper crunched under his heel. He ground down slowly, twisting. "Careful, Blackthorne," he said softly. "Wouldn't want to damage school property." That was when the crowd parted like water before a storm. Draven came through at a dead run. He didn't slow, didn't shout. He simply lowered his shoulder and slammed into Elian with the force of a battering ram. Elian's back hit the stone wall hard enough to knock the breath from his lungs. Plaster cracked behind him. Before he could recover, Draven's fist drove into his stomach, doubling him over. Elian gasped, tasted bile, then surged upward with a snarl, catching Draven under the chin with an uppercut that snapped his head back. They went down together. The fight spilled across the hallway floor in a brutal, rolling tangle of limbs and fury. Draven pinned Elian long enough to land 2 solid punches. Cheekbone, jaw blood blooming bright across pale skin. Elian twisted free, drove a knee into Draven's ribs, heard the air leave him in a sharp grunt. They scrambled up, crashed into a row of lockers' metal denting, doors flying open, then down again, rolling over scattered books and startled students who leapt back. Fists flew, elbows cracked against bone, blood smeared across stone and uniform collars. Draven's knuckles split open on Elian's teeth. Elian's lip tore wide when Draven's forehead met it in a savage headbutt. Neither spoke. Words were unnecessary. This was language older than the academy itself. Dominance, vengeance, protection. The crowd swelled, phones recording every blow. Someone yelled for a professor. No one came running. Finally, 2 senior instructors, alpha betas with iron reputations, waded in, hauling the combatants apart by main force. Draven was still trying to lunge. Elian spat blood and laughed, a ragged, reckless sound. Enough, barked Professor Vera, gripping Draven's arm like a vice. Both of you stand down. They were dragged to the headmaster's office, still snarling, uniforms torn, faces ruined. Kai trailed behind at a distance, clutching salvaged books to his chest, eyes huge and glassy. The verdict came within the hour, 3-day suspension, effective immediately, no appeals. In the corridor outside the office, Elian leaned against the wall, pressing a wad of gauze to his split lip. Draven stood 10 feet away, flexing bloodied knuckles, staring at the floor. Neither looked at the other, neither apologized, neither regretted a single punch. By evening, the footage was everywhere shared in group chats, posted to Academy forums with captions like a round 2, Voss vs Blackthorne, nobody wins, and Hallway became a war zone today. Clips looped, the shoulder check, the books scattering, Draven's blind charge, the rolling brawl that left lockers buckled and blood on the stones. Someone had slowed down the moment Elian's boot crushed the open page of the Omega Codex. The comments were vicious, gleeful, awed. The incident acquired a name before the sun set, the Hallway Brawl. It would be spoken of in whispers and boasts for years. How 2 heirs of enemy houses turned a crowded corridor into a battlefield over a stack of books and an Omega who never asked to be the spark. Later that night, in the infirmary, Kai sat on the edge of a cot while a healer dabbed antiseptic on Draven's split eyebrow. Draven didn't flinch. He only watched his brother with quiet, steady eyes. "You didn't have to," Kai whispered. Draven's voice was rough from shouting and blood. "Yes, I did." Across campus, in the Voss family quarters, Elian stood before a mirror, cataloging the damage, black eye swelling shut, lip puffed and crusted, bruises blooming purple across his ribs. He touched the worst of them and hissed. Uncle Harlan's voice echoed from memory, "Bury them." Elian smiled at his reflection, bloody, unrepentant. "Not yet," he murmured. The war was far from over, and the Academy would never be the same. Chapter 4. The Rooftop Confrontation. The rooftop of the North Tower was forbidden after dusk. A rusted iron fence ringed the flat expanse of weathered stone, and beyond it the cliff dropped sheer to the crashing iron sea far below. Wind howled through the crenellations, carrying salt and the faint metallic bite of coming rain. During the day, it was a place for stolen cigarettes and whispered secrets. At night, it belonged to ghosts and fools who wanted to feel small against the sky. Kai Blackthorne should never have come. The note had been slipped into his locker between classes, plain paper, no signature, only elegant script that read, "Rooftop, North Tower, sunset, come alone or your brother pays for it." Kai had recognized the handwriting instantly. Elian Voss never bothered to disguise his arrogance, even in threats. He told himself he was protecting Draven. He told himself he could handle whatever waited. He was wrong on both counts. The door creaked open just as the sun bled red across the horizon. Kai stepped out, hood up, hands shoved deep in his pockets to hide the shaking. The wind snatched at his cloak, whipping silver hair across his face. Elian waited near the center of the roof, leaning against the old antenna mast with casual ease. Cashin lounged on a low parapet to his left. Thorn blocked the door behind Kai, arms crossed, smirking. Leora stood apart, wind tearing at her dark hair, expression carved from ice. "Brave little Omega," Elian said, pushing off the mast, "that I wasn't sure you'd actually show." Kai's voice was barely above the wind. "What do you want, Voss?" Elian spread his hands, a conversation, no interruptions, no big brother to growl and swing, just you and me and them. He nodded toward his friends. "They're here to make sure you listen." Kai took a step back. His heel scraped stone. "I have nothing to say to you." "You don't need to say anything," Elian replied, advancing slowly. "You just need to understand your place." Cashin slid off the parapet, circling left. Thorn moved right. They herded Kai backward with the lazy precision of wolves closing on a lamb. Step by step, the cliff edge drew nearer. The fence rattled in the wind, iron groaning. You think Draven can protect you forever? Elian's voice cut through the gale. He can't. One day he'll be gone, deployed, married off, dead, and then what? You'll be left alone, soft and useless, waiting for someone to claim you or break you. Probably both. Kai's breath hitched. He glanced over his shoulder. Too close now. The drop yawned behind him, black and endless. Stop. Leora spoke then, voice low and venomous. Mother always said your kind were decorative at best, a pretty accessory for alliances, nothing more. Look at you shaking like a leaf. Pathetic. Thorn laughed. Bet he'd cry if we pushed him just a little closer. Cashin reached out, grabbed Kai's sleeve, yanked him forward, then shoved him back toward the edge. Kai stumbled, arms windmilling. His back hit the fence, metal clanged. One foot slipped half over the lip. He caught himself on the rail, knuckles white. Elian closed the distance in 3 strides, looming over him. See, easy, that's all it takes. One push, one moment of weakness, and the Blackthorne line ends with a scream and a splash. Kai's eyes were wide, terrified, but he didn't beg, he only whispered, please. But the rooftop door exploded open. Draven arrived like a hurricane made flesh. He didn't pause to assess. He saw Kai pinned against the fence, saw Elian inches from his brother, and rage swallowed everything else. His scent detonated smoke and iron turned furnace, hot, choking the air. He charged. Cashin moved to intercept. Draven's fist met his face mid-step, dropping him like a stone. Thorn lunged from the side. Draven caught him by the throat, lifted, slammed him down so hard the stone cracked beneath. Leora backed away fast, eyes wide for the first time anyone could remember. Elian turned just in time to meet Draven's fury head on. Draven's hands closed on Elian's collar. He lifted him clean off the ground and hurled him backward. Elian's spine struck the fence with a metallic screech. The rail bent inward. Before he could slide down, Draven was on him again, forearm across his throat, pinning him hard against the iron. Their faces were inches apart, breaths mingling with blood and salt wind. Draven's voice was a low, lethal rasp. I will kill you, right here, right now. And I will smile while I do it. Elian's lips peeled back in a bloody grin, even as his vision tunneled from the pressure on his windpipe. Do it, then. Prove you're no better than the poisoner who sired you. Draven's arm tensed, muscles corded. The fence groaned under their combined weight. Then Draven, Kai's voice cracked across the rooftop, desperate and raw. Draven froze. Kai had slid to his knees beside them, hands reaching, tears streaking his face. Please don't, not like this, not for me. Draven's gaze snapped to his brother, saw the terror, the guilt, the plea, and something in him fractured. The killing rage stuttered, then receded just enough. He released Elian abruptly. Elian slid down the fence, coughing, chest heaving. Draven stepped back, fists still clenched, trembling with the effort of restraint. He turned, crossed to Kai in 2 strides, knelt, pulled his brother against his chest. Kai buried his face in Draven's shoulder, shaking violently. Draven's hand cupped the back of his head, shielding him from the wind, from the eyes still watching. Without a word, Draven rose, lifting Kai with him, carrying him like he weighed nothing. He strode past the groaning bodies of Cashin and Thorn, past Leora's frozen form, past Elian still slumped against the fence. He didn't look back. Elian watched them go. The door banged shut behind the brothers. The wind howled louder, colder. He stayed there a long time, back against the bent rail, tasting blood and sea salt. His friends stirred slowly, cursing, staggering to their feet. Leora approached, offering a hand. He ignored it. Hatred burned steady in his chest, familiar, comforting, righteous. But beneath it something else stirred, something unnameable, a flicker of heat that had nothing to do with anger, a pull he couldn't name, the way Draven had looked at Kai, fierce, unbreakable, willing to burn the world to keep him safe. The way Kai had stopped him with nothing but a word and a touch. Elian pressed the heel of his hand to his sternum, as though he could crush the feeling before it took root. He failed. The sun sank fully below the horizon. Darkness swallowed the rooftop. And in the shadowed corner of his mind, Elian Voss felt the first crack in the armor he had worn since childhood. He hated Draven Blackthorne more than ever, and he hated that he couldn't quite hate him cleanly anymore.
That's all for today on Cherry Blossom BL Story. Thank you for watching. What do you think about this chapter? Did you like it, or do you think something unexpected is coming? Comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stories.